Joining me now to talk all things markets, from the Fed decision yesterday to AI, is Ted Thatcher. He's president and financial advisor at Bright Lake Wealth Management. Ted, it's great to have you on the show this morning, and let's start with the market action. Where do we stand as equities open for trade?
Kristen, it's great to be with you. You know, Powell, of course, announced that rate decision yesterday. He said it was a close call. We know that there has been a lot of fighting amongst the Fed, but ultimately, I think the market is, of course, pleased to see that rate cut. Most of the market anticipated that cut, and I think if they would have changed tune, it could have meant a lot more volatility going into the holiday season here. And so we got to remember the Fed has really been flying blind when it comes to all these different economic data points. We finally just got that big JOLTS report out on Tuesday. We still are just getting a trickle of some of this other unemployment information out. You know, we've seen the initial claims and continuing claims numbers come out today. But really, my eyes are actually set on next Friday when we get that new PCE print, you know, the GDP update, the consumer sentiment numbers, to really inform some of those actual economic vital signs as to where the Fed goes from here. A lot has been said even already about what are they going to do next year. But right now, I think the markets are just happy we got the cut that we expected.
The cut that we expected, indeed. And I think what we didn't expect that markets responded to favorably yesterday, Ted, was, of course, the improved outlook. The Fed upping its outlook for GDP growth next year, downgrading its inflation forecast as well. That's consistent with its dual mandate of maximum employment and, of course, stable prices. I want to talk about how artificial intelligence is changing this economy when it comes to jobs and when it comes to inflation, as Time earlier today did name the architects of AI as its person of the year.
Absolutely. You know, so much has been said, too, of whether or not we are in this AI bubble and if it's too far gone. I don't agree with that position. I think very much the mega cap companies that have benefited from this AI story have so much revenue and a real stories to go with it. You know, top of my list really is Alphabet. It's so interesting to me that there was all this criticism for Google halfway through the year because of the OpenAI bursting onto the scene with ChatGPT and this belief that its search business was going to go away. Meanwhile, its Blue Link search business, even in Q2, was up over 10% year over year. We've seen that story change entirely throughout the second half of this year, and I think it will continue to in 2026. Google has an unbelievable stack going for them. They own the silicon, the TPUs on the bottom end. They have incredible technologists and an amazing performance of their new Gemini 3 model. And I think what's really, really exciting to me for 2026 is that Google has all the distribution they need to be able to take advantage of this market. Google has 230 million paid subscribers to their Google One services. Imagine the power that they now have for distribution to put that incredible model into all their different verticals. And that is to say nothing of the other, you know, huge value story within Google of Waymo that has come out. They're now doing, I believe it's over 450,000 rides a week. They hit that benchmark. So there's just so many things that are very much to be excited about with Alphabet.
I want to talk about Disney. That stock outperforming today. Shares of NYSE listed Disney up 2% pre-market. This is, Ted, amid news that Disney is making a $1 billion investment in OpenAI that will allow characters on Sora AI, the video generator. How does that change the game?
It's a great question. I mean, one of the biggest drivers in CapEx and business value, enterprise value, has been brand. And Disney has cashed in on this again and again and again. I mean, we think about Marvel, we think about Star Wars, we think about all of the, you know, IP that they have built over the years. And to pair that with the growth story that is AI, it makes perfect sense to me that they are at the top of everybody's list to talk about today. I mean, obviously you see, the trend these days, last several months, has been what new deal is announced? What new deal is announced? And so, of course, you know, these companies are getting credit for these announcements. In the past, it's been these new CapEx investments, those almost catapulting the market values. And now it's more and more of these partnerships. And where I see it going again in 2026 is how are the companies actually monetizing on those partnerships?
Ted Thatcher, president and financial advisor at Bright Lake Wealth Management. Ted, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Kristen.